Okay, we got the personal days done, we got the bailiffs done.
I think there are only two that haven't been answered yet, and that's 414052 uniform expenses. And I would like, just for the record, to have you explain it in detail, Lieutenant, on exactly, according to the Teamsters contract, who is authorized to receive the uniform expense, and exactly what do they receive per individual in cost?
Madam Chairman, would it make sense under that line item to put union uniform expenses? Then it pertains only to the union? Is that what you're getting at?
Uniform expenses, I think it's for, I mean, we have what's found under the union contract. We also have the bailiff uniforms and other, people who aren't under contract, aren't under the union contract for uniforms.
Tell me, say that again?
We have bailiff uniforms.
Yeah.
We have the people who are under union contract uniforms.
Yes.
And we have people who aren't under union contract. I'm not under a union contract. But I wear uniforms, but we typically will take what's allowed to the deputy under the union contract, that expense, and attribute it to everybody.
Yes, I understand that. You do not come under the umbrella of the Teamsters contract. That means this $500 a year uniform allowance, you don't rate it. Members of the management, administration, et cetera, are not covered under the contract.
I know.
So that's what I want to get taken care of. Who is covered?
Okay, I'll get you that list of specifically which deputies are under union contract are getting that uniform allowance, what part's going to the bailiffs, and what part is being allotted for the rest of the people.
Well, if they're not covered under the contract, there shouldn't be anything allotted for the rest of the people. So, except the initial uniform that you draw when you first get your job. But for that first year, when you're on probation, you're not covered under the contract. People in management are not covered under the contract. The sheriff himself, people in administration is not covered under the contract. So, what I would like to know is exactly who is covered, how many people, I don't have to know by name, but how many deputies, full-time deputies who are not on probation are covered, and how much they are covered for. And I think it's $300 for uniform replacements, for uniforms worn out in service, and another $210 or $15, $20 for cleaning expenses, dry cleaning expenses. But they have to bring in a certificate, a receipt to prove that it was a uniform, and then they get paid.
Most people clean them at home. So, all right, I'll get that for you.
Most people clean them at home. Okay. Some don't.
Yeah. Somebody else have a question? Yes.
Madam Chairman, we beat this subject to death. And I was under the understanding that when we got to this process, that'd be broken out, because I know there was great discussion of keeping the bailiffs similarly uniformed, that there wasn't enough pay there for that purpose. But we've been down this road so many times. I would really think that the subcommittee should make a strong recommendation and not yield from it, that we don't wait any longer for this question to be answered.
I didn't understand that. What recommendation for, what do you mean?
We've asked, if I could, Representative McCarthy, we've talked about this subject no less than probably an hour and a half over 3 or 4 meetings. And the sheriff had conceded that he was going to work on this, and that he had strong feelings that the bailiffs deserved a certain amount of uniform. But we had asked previously that this be broken out and brought to us so that we knew this. It was listed as a question on here. we're sitting here with the good lieutenant again, not knowing what the answer is. And the sheriff needs to make that known, get it done, and get off this subject so that you and I and the rest have an answer. And it's his decision. So.
And I, you know, and it may, one of the things that we may want to think about also is, you know, for management, okay, that if someone is going, we need to make a conscientious decision that says, you know, bailiffs get money, and there should be a line item that says bailiffs uniforms. Okay, we you know, if we make a conscious decision that says management gets uniforms, then we need a line that says management uniforms. And then if we have contract uniforms, then we need to say that, so that we all have a clear picture of where that money is going. And in my opinion, for the sheriff himself, okay, I believe, and I think I've proposed it in some thought processes that I've had, that in some way we should probably raise the sheriff's salary to so that we can cover something to do with what he wears. And then that's it, period, end of sentence. He's an elected official, you know, and you know, we need to compensate him for his experience, his costs, and so on. So those are things that I think that we will need to work out. Lieutenant, sorry, Representative Babson, did you have a comment?
I just was wondering how much money is being spent to dry clean non-union people's clothes, and I know it's being done because I've gone over the receipt records. In my estimation, if you're not in the union, you don't get a union. We're in the legislature, nobody pays for our clothing to get dry cleaned. I don't think the taxpayers' money should be going to dry cleaning people's clothes. Management's clothes.
Well, again, those are things I think that
I can break it out. I can get it to you fairly shortly.
and you hear the conversation, so.
Right, this is the first time I've been involved in the conversation.
So we need to have a case for it, okay?
Well, may
I mean, we need the explanation of the expenses, okay? But if we're going to make a different decision about what we're going to support, then we need to make sure that your office comes in with a, and not, that's the way it's always been.
No, I'm not going to.
May I?
Yes.
For the sake of the record, for an individual to be purchasing clothing and using a credit card issued to him by the county, boots, gloves, having his dry cleaning done, and he admitted that he knows he's not authorized to do that, he does not come under the contract, and all we've asked is show us the authorization to do this. To me, that's a slap in the face to the taxpayers of the county. And what we do in the past is irrelevant. In the future, about raising his salary or giving him perks or whatever is irrelevant. The fact is, he's doing it now and refuses to cease and desist.
Well, and that's why we need to do something, okay, one way or the other, because I don't want to relive history. I want to change it so that we're all in agreement that this is how it is, and that we're not going to get into this baloney. Yes, Steve.
Again, just for the record, I agree with Representative Babson and Representative McCarthy. When it comes to final approval of this budget, I will approve not $1 more than what is contractually obligated under the Teamsters contract for clothing. So that's where I would be coming from on it. So
How do you want to break out? I'm not under union contract.
right.
I wear uniforms. And
Correct.
they do wear out and so forth. So how do you want me to come up with that?
I'd be up to the county, but again,
Well, what do you want me to put it in under here? I guess you said you're not gonna.
I guess I'm not even sure I want you to put it in. I think as
Okay.
part of the management team, you're not obligated or obliged to receive a stipend for that. And again, I get back, if you're a construction worker working for the county, and I assume we have some at a farm, I'm not sure they're compensated for their blue jeans or their work clothes that they go through. If I get back into the private side again, and again, it's just being fair, when I was working, believe me, I burned through 2 or 3 suits per year, considerable expense, it was on me. All I'm saying here is that we had this constant argument over it, and I think the easiest way to do it is to say, if it's not contractually obligated, then we're not going to do it. And I just want to put it to bed. That's where I would be
For
coming from.
maintenance or for purchasing like a new uniform?
The purchase.
I guess that's what I need to know, like for, like uniform expenses, that's for maintenance, that's for like the 2 new guys when we
Right.
got to purchase the uniforms and stuff. So we have to come up with this stuff. Boots wear out. I can show you the bottom of my boots, they're, pretty, so I just need to know where to put that under is what I'm asking.
No, I understand, and I guess my point, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, is that as part of the management team, it's on you.
So I have to buy my own uniforms?
Correct.
Okay. I just need to know that.
New employees get a uniform allowance. They get $3,000 for, according to the sheriff, for uniforms, leather equipment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then they get a uniform allowance. But once you become part of maintenance, you're not covered by the contract anymore, and you lose that. Once you become management or you're in administration or whatever, you lose that. And to continue to use it is in fact, you're breaking the law. It's misappropriation of funds.
Okay, Mark?
Then perhaps we should suggest to the lieutenant that if the sheriff and the lieutenant and others believe that this is an item that should be covered, then it should be broken out as a separate request. And then it'll be decided on its own merits.
Okay.
But keep that line just on items that we have to pay for uniforms contractually.
I have a question. How much is the uniform, what you have on? Is there
I can give you a dollar figure as I don't know specifically. The shirt could be $60, the pants could be $40. If you want to talk about all the leather gear and the boots and stuff, I think you're probably to totally outfit a deputy, we're probably talking $400 or $500 for a number of, short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, for them to work a 40-hour week.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes.
Now, do the office assistants also get clothing allowances?
No. No,
I don't believe so.
no, they do not. The dispatch gets a shirt, right?
Shirt and jacket, yeah.
Yeah, shirt and jacket. And so, anyhow. All right, I think that we will close out for today since we have a 1 o'clock meeting.
Yes, we do.
And I need to eat some lunch. And so we will, we'll get back together. I'm not sure exactly when I'll schedule the meeting, but I'll let you know.
And I'll get you those items, that breakouts.
Okay.
I don't know how do you want me to email or
You
how
can
do I get
email
them?
them. Do you have,
I would like to thank the lieutenant personally. This is the 3rd or the 4th sheriff committee, subcommittee meetings that I've sat in, and we've got more cooperation and more answers to questions from you than we have in the others
you want
combined.
to run this?